So for anybody that's, out there listening or watching right now, the ones that are worried about not hitting their goals, the beauty of the marketing plan is that there is no time limit really. You can hit your goals in quarter one, or you might not hit them in quarter one. And you say, okay, well, this maybe didn't work. Let me adjust for quarter two, and then you hit in quarter two. That's it. I mean, like, I think that, a lot of people, I mean, I have a mindset, where if I don't hit my goals, I start feeling like worried, like, oh my gosh, I'm not hitting my goals. I'm a terrible individual.
I'm a terrible marketer.
Yeah. But the beauty is that like, it's about adjustment. It's not about giving up on those goals. It's just about adjusting marketing plan.
Well, and I mean, the bigger problem that I have found, so the biggest problem, number one, I think the lack of a written marketing plan, even if it's scattered and shitty. Okay, a shitty marketing plan is better than no marketing plan.
Yep.
All right. I guess I should say a shitty written marketing plan. How about this? A shitty written marketing plan is better than a great marketing plan in your head.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, bad plan executed.
There's a quote for social right there.
No, bad plan executed violently now is better than the perfect plan 30 days from now.
Right, because in a written plan, you and other people can actually look at it and go, okay, this is what's coming up. This is what we need to plan for. I can actually look at it retrospectively and say, this is what we thought was going to happen. This is what actually happened. And then we can start asking questions like, why? Why was there a discrepancy? What do we want to change, if anything? We can look at it and figure out where there's not enough, where we need more. We can look at it and figure out where we're spending too much, where we're not spending enough. And by the way, to the budget thing real quick, because I want to comment on this. I think it's really important, you're thinking about budget, to also think about not just money, but time. Because there is some marketing that you can do that instead of spending money, you can spend time. Networking's a big one. Writing
a blog yourself.
Yeah, say content marketing, writing. So, am I saying you have to go as far as putting on your marketing plan the number of hours you might spend? No, you don't have to, but but if you can estimate that, it's not a bad idea, right? Because it's always going to cost you one of those two things. It's either going to cost you money or it's going to cost you time, right? Whether you're hiring a vendor or hiring a marketing staff person, it's going to cost you money, and then obviously if you're doing it, it's going to cost you time. So it's really also important to include that on your marketing plan so that in any given period, which again I think should be quarters, but so that in any given period you can be confident you're not going to overspend your budget or your time. And frankly, but underspending your budget or time is also a concern, unless there's a period that you just truly don't want to be doing any marketing for whatever reason, right? But at least let that decision be intentional and be written.
We talked about having a marketing plan, just the simple importance of having a marketing plan. We talked about the 4 questions to kind of ask, to kind of get that going. We touched on budget a little bit. From your experience, Mark, what's a good percentage to even put into marketing?
Oh yeah, great question. So I really like the rule of thumb of 10% marketing budget. And that can be all inclusive. So in other words, if you have marketing staff, that would be included in that 10%. Ideally though, you could spend 10% of your revenue on marketing activities and campaigns, and marketing staff would be over and above that. I can tell you at Spotlight Branding, we spend 20% of every dollar that comes in goes to our marketing department. So that department, that covers marketing staff salaries. It covers marketing tools as well. So any software, email marketing software, things like that. It would also cover any ad spend on social media or Google. It would cover any vendor fees, if we hired an agency to do something for us that we don't know how to do ourselves. So we spend 20%, but 10% I encourage to be the floor as often as possible, because whether you're a law firm doing $100,000 a year or $2 million a year, that's the beautiful thing about a percentage is I understand this might be a little bit of a hot take, but listen, if you're a small law firm out there and you're barely doing six figures, you're even doing multi six figures, you should be able to put 10% into marketing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, there's something you might be doing wrong.
Yeah.
I know it's a hot take, but like.
What do you mean by doing something wrong? Where do you think this
might be like discrepancies or something somewhere?
No, like you might be spending too much
somewhere
elsewhere
okay.
that you
Gotcha.
it's kind of like even when you're 23 years old and it's your first job, right? Like you should be still putting into a Roth IRA or something like that, even at say 10% of your income. And if you can't, and you make up all sorts of excuses, it's like, all right, well, like you live by yourself. That's why your rent's so high. You probably shouldn't live by yourself when you're 23 years old, right? Or you drink Starbucks every day.
Yeah.
And not trying to be mean.
I got what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean, but if unless you literally just started your law firm and like you need every penny to scrape by, like if you can't put 10% into marketing, it's because you're spending like that. In other words, that 10% is there.
Yeah.
You're spending it somewhere else. You're either spending it on yourself,
Yep.
you're spending it on staff, you're spending it on I don't know, pens and pencils.
Oh yeah, I mean
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of a hot take, but yes, you should be able to find 10% to put somewhere as critical as marketing.
Yep.
And by the way, marketing is one of the few places in your business that you aren't actually spending money.
Yep.
You're actually investing it, and you expect it to produce an ROI a whole lot faster than your retirement
Yeah.
is going to produce, right? So I like to see 10% go to marketing, whether that's, money you're spending on networking events or you put into ads. I don't know, are Avo and all of them these days still doing like paid listings?
Ooh,
great question.
I imagine so.
Yeah, or like some of these like lawyer.com and things like that that do like paid referral services. I'm not advocating for or against those, but even if you only got a couple $100 a month, like how about this? I'm gonna give you a bonus answer. You asked me what's a good budget. Not only is it 10%, but you ready for this? Not only is it 10%, and it's okay if more often than not, you're wasting that 10%.
Let's go define waste.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You spend the money and it fails because
What is the benefit? What do you think
because in marketing, you often have to fail before you can succeed.
Yeah.
So it's not really a waste.
Yeah. Like I want this to really sink in for everyone. In marketing, you often have to fail before you succeed. In other words, there's very little marketing that works on version 1.
Yep.
There's very few marketing ideas that work with the initial idea. So there are people out there, for every person out there that has wasted money on Avo or lawyers.com, there are people that get clients from those places.
Yep.
Sure.
So, and listen, I haven't even personally interacted with those platforms in a while, so I'm just kind of picking on them at the moment. I don't know if this is all still true, but we're going to use as an example. If you do those things and your money goes to waste, is there a right or wrong answer between should you stop and reallocate elsewhere, or should you modify what you're doing there? What do you guys think the answer is?
Modify, because I mean,
Okay.
if we're going like the 10,000, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I have to agree with Eddie, because I mean, in terms of what that modification looks like, it could be. What's that? I seen that image where it's like this miner, he's digging through the ground or whatever, and he's like that close to like a whole room full of gems.
That's when he quits.
And that's when he quits.
That's a great point. I don't disagree with you. My answer though is there's not a right or a wrong answer.
You set me up.
Well, because the thing is that what's the opportunity cost? So if you try something and it fails, okay, I agree. Generally, like modify, tweak. Maybe it failed for reasons that can be changed, and maybe that thing doesn't have to fail.
Yeah.
But is there something else that you want to try instead? Is there something else that you maybe feel better about?
Yeah.
And so if you'd rather move your money there, that's fine too.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is it doesn't really matter. You just need to be willing to try shit. And if shit fails, either A, modify it, tweak it, or B, move the money elsewhere if you have something that you're more
I still see
excited
that
to
as a
feel better about.
modification. I mean, if it's
Sure.
something, that's my coverall here. So if something's not working, I know this avenue is not going to bring me revenue. So
Well, and look, just to give you guys some credit there for your answers. Like, I mean, the truth is
we
that,
need credit, please.
If I'm advising someone personally, I mean, I'm going to say, look, if you've started something like, I'm not going to say leave no stone unturned, because in the world of marketing, sometimes in the world of marketing, you do need to at least keep your eyes peeled. Something better might come along and you don't want to miss it or skip that thing because you were so focused on turning over every stone over here. But generally speaking, if you've started something that has worked for others, you probably can get it to work for you. So keep working at it until you do, right?
So there are certain things you would not want to walk away from. I mean, you
even at Spotlight branding,
yeah,
right? We have struggled to do Google ads for ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So just as a point of clarity for everyone out there, right? Like, we are a marketing agency, but we only do content marketing, right? Our product is, we do blogging, social media, email newsletters, things like that, right? So like we don't do every kind of marketing there is for our clients.
Nope.
So when it comes to doing marketing for ourselves, beyond content marketing, we're just like everyone listening.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Like we have a product or a service we sell, we still have to do marketing for ourselves. And even though we're good at content marketing, like, we're still kind of like everyone else when it comes to other areas of marketing. We might be a little bit more knowledgeable in some different areas or understand the lingo a little better. So all that to say, we're not experts by any means in Google ads and things like that, because that's not a service we offer. We've been in business for 10 years now. We still haven't figured out how to do Google ads consistently. We have not figured out how to produce success consistently on Google ads for ourselves. But I know it's an area of marketing that works. Number one, I know that it works for other marketing agencies. So I have not wanted to give up on it because I know that we just haven't figured out. But there have been times that we paused it. We paused trying to figure it out because we only had so much budget. And we wanted to capture some other opportunities. And this is the benefit of a marketing plan. Because I might pencil in Google ads every quarter in perpetuity, but then there's an event coming up in quarter 4. And by the way, that's a category I missed earlier that's important. Events. Events.
Oh yeah, we love
and
events.
this can be in person or digital. Like, in terms of the value of the marketing plan, it's really simple. Like I've got Google ads on there and I'm willing to spend, say, $500, $1,000 a month trying to figure it the fuck out. Okay. And that's the attitude I want to make sure is resonating first with our audience. Like, you need to be willing to look at some of your marketing and go, this is going to fail for a while. Okay. Now, do I personally sit there and say it can fail for a certain amount of time? No, it's more of a gut feel thing, right?
Sure.
But if I then look at my marketing plan and there's an event I want to do in quarter 4 and I don't have enough budget, I'm going to say, all right, we're going to stop experimenting with Google for a quarter because we still haven't figured Google ads out. And we're going to go to that event in quarter 4 and then we'll pick up the experimentation back in quarter 1 again, right? And am I going to do that forever? No. But we've taken year-long breaks from it and then come back to it.
No,
so
we're not retreating. We're just attacking in a different direction. We're still going to come back and circle around.
Right. So your marketing plan helps you kind of figure out, what you have capacity for. We haven't really, you really want to kind of get advanced with this. You could even kind of You could even almost create like a confidence scale on your goals, right? So you may, I'm not saying like an actual rating, but you might want to try to balance a quarter out by having things on there that you feel confident in that your goal will happen, and then 1 or 2 things a quarter that can totally fail, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So
it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail.
Investment.
It is.
Failing's an investment.
It is, but I think you can get pretty advanced by saying I'm gonna every quarter have 1 or 2 things that could totally do nothing.
Yeah.
As long as you have some other things that you generally expect. I know these things are probably going to work, and I know this is probably going to happen. And again, you can get that confidence by looking at where your clients have come from in the past.
It just
right?
pays itself back in data points versus money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. So I feel like you asked a question. Was it about budget? Did we get to that?
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere.
That was the 10%. Whole 10%.
Yeah. The 10%. That's right. But the understanding that that to some degree you need to expect a portion of your marketing budget and your marketing activities to fail. It's the age old, Eddie, I think, you mentioned no stone unturned. That's the process, but it is that age old, like, how many tries did it take Thomas Edison until he created the light bulb?
Yeah.
And
for sure.
You have the whole, he didn't find he didn't fail 99 times. He found 99 ways to not create a light bulb. We laugh when we say that, but let me tell you what, you ask any like marketing expert, they will tell you knowing what not to do
is valuable.
Is so helpful.
Yeah.
Right? So figuring out what doesn't work in marketing is still helpful and it's still
so
valuable.
Many options.
There are
so many.
And also you can learn from each other, right? Yeah. I think one of the most underutilized resources, to be honest with you, in business in general, but definitely with law firms, are your peers.
Let them feel for you.
Yeah. Share your war stories.
Yep.
Right? Share your notes. And don't pull the plug too early. Right? Just because something didn't, work. So you talk to a fellow lawyer, they say they tried this thing and it didn't work. Ask a follow-up question or two. Yep. What did you try? Yep. Yeah. Right? Like kind of, what about the campaign? Can you tell me specifically? Like, why do you think it didn't work? If you were going to do it again, would you do anything differently? Like, those aren't weird questions. Like, ask those questions, you know? Like,
you did mention, like you said, certain things you would stick with. I mean, we talk about Google Ads for us. Like, what are the things you would stick with? Like, no matter, things you're worth playing, coming back to, pausing.
That's a great question. I would, what are the things in marketing I would stick with through the ups and downs? So all content marketing. Right. So blogging, social media, email newsletters, video, all the things that are about building your reputation and your credibility through authoritative content.
Check.
And that you then can use to stay in touch with people and stay top of mind. Because I do think one of the biggest missed areas in marketing is referrals and repeat business.
So big.
Even if your firm gets a lot of business from those things, you're probably still leaving a lot more on the table than you realize. Yeah. And then also content marketing, when done well, also can help you get better clients. It can help you get higher paying clients and more of the kinds of clients you want. So if you're doing blogging and social media and email, and you don't feel like you're getting more referrals or repeat business, or you don't feel like you're getting better clients, I would stick with those things because those things historically have proven to produce those kinds of results. And I think that we're pretty qualified to talk about that stuff because like that's what we do for law firms when they hire us, right?
Yep.
So I would stick with that. I would stick with any type of like networking and referral activity if you have the time for it. So anything that grows your network.
Check.
Right. And it's kind of a play off of the thing I just said a second ago with content. Yeah. If content marketing is about staying in touch with your network, how do you grow your network? Yeah. Well, the easiest way to do that, if you have capacity, is you and or you could have people on your team that like to network and go. So networking events, chambers of commerce, BNIs, bar associations, all of these things can create referral sources and things like that, and or identifying who are the best referral sources, right? So if you're a personal injury attorney, You want to network with doctors. If you're a family law attorney, you probably want to network with marriage counselors and accountants.
A lot of mental health
and
professionals.
accountants.
Yeah, accountants.
Because they both tend to know when divorce is coming. And the list goes on.
Relationship.
Though. If you're a business attorney, you might want to network with people that work with business owners. So like business coaches and things like that, or other B2B businesses, right? Sure. So networking can mean a lot of different things. So networking and building referral relationships, content marketing, and then if you have the budget for it, ads, like mainly digital ads, and the target could move depending on the practice area and things like that. I did kind of say earlier that I generally don't think social media is a ripe place to generate leads for a law firm. But then again, I have a friend that owns a marketing agency for lawyers, and they are focused on Facebook ads. Now, what they do is a little bit different. I think like they're not like, they're getting people to like, who are maybe like casually interested in like a resource, or something like that, right? So like they're getting that person on your list, and then you kind of have to nurture them. At least that's what I think they do. I might be completely butchering it right now. If I am, sorry to them. But I also don't want to put my foot in my mouth and make it sound like I'm saying you can't get leads from social media. No, you can. But if I had to get more specific, I would say ads on things like Google.
Yep.
Okay, like there are challenges with that. People tend to be price shopping. It tends to be super competitive. But at the end of the day, like I've got one friend of mine who, it's not completely linear. I'm going to be hyperbolic a little bit, but I've got a friend that I would argue he got to a 7-figure law firm through referrals and content marketing and branding. Yep. But then he went from 1 to 3 through ads. Yeah. Through ads.
Interesting.
And again, I'm being a bit hyperbolic. I'm not saying he added $2 million in revenue just from ads.
Right.
But
he added that element to it, and that's
and a lot of other things went with it. As they had more money, that 10% budget stayed at 10%, but the dollar amount increased. And now they could go to more events. Yeah. They could take more risks.
They're snowballing.
They could waste more money to figure out what works.
Yeah.
Right? And then do more of those things.
Just have a larger safety net.
So that was the long answer. You have the short answer. Like what are the things in marketing that I would stick with for a law firm? I would stick with content marketing.
Content.
Because that's how you build your reputation and your expertise and your brand. And it's also how you stay in touch with your existing network.
Right.
I would say referral relationships and networking and anything you can do to grow your network. Right. I would stick with those strategies. And then once you have the budget for it, I would at least always be dabbling in some sort of paid ad strategy, whether it's Google, maybe social, or I'm, for the sake of this conversation, lumping some of those paid referral services for lawyers, like some of the things that Avo has done in the past and things like that. I'm including that in there as something that I'm not saying stick with that specifically, but I would be doing something in the paid ad world in perpetuity.
And that's where your experimental variables come in.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and trying different things.
Yeah. So to basically kind of recap this whole conversation in terms like of a marketing plan. So first and foremost,
the 4 things.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, you need a marketing plan.
Right, we got that part out of the way.
I hope people got that from this conversation.
I hope so.
Well, and I hope they've gotten that it doesn't. I hope we haven't intimidated them. Like a shitty marketing plan is better than the perfect marketing plan in your head.
Yeah,
right.
That's such a great quote.
So yes, so I mean, just start putting pen to paper or finger to keyboard or whatever, and just start getting something written down, and then make it better over time.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, and to that you can fail. It's okay to fail. It doesn't matter if you don't hit it first quarter. You still got quarter 2, quarter 3, whatever it is to get there. But as long as you have something that you're working towards, I mean that's the goal, right? And it's have something that you're just working towards.
Yeah,
something that you believe. And again, it's you as the law firm owner, you as the marketing director, whatever that is. whatever that preference that you truly believe is will push your business forward.
If you create goals for your marketing activities, you will. We don't have a study on this. This might be a good thing for the next trends report, right? But I bet you'll be in the top 5%, maybe even the top 1% of marketing plans. Right? I don't think that many small businesses, and for that matter, solo small law firms, when they do have a written marketing plan, are there some sort of goal or result or projections attached to those things beyond a budget? Because a budget is still a projection, right? I might be wrong. It might be 20% have that. It might be 50%. But I'm just talking anecdotal, my experience. So
by the way we're describing it, right? You're saying by the way we're describing a marketing plan, you're
but
like,
we're not just. But what we're describing is not sophisticated.
No, not at all.
And in other words, because I was going to kind of go two places with it. On one hand, I am encouraging people if they create a marketing plan, try to attach some sort of goal to each activity, and if you do so, I think that'll put you in like the top 5% of marketing plans. Conversely, though, if that feels hard to do or you just can't get to it yet, that's still okay, because the bigger problem is a lack of a written marketing plan in the first place.
Right.
To be really honest with you, even if you can just do number 1 and number 2, even if you can just identify what marketing you want to do and when you want to do it,
big steps.
Like, and the truth is, you could spend a day on that. You could also spend 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you could also open up a Google Doc right now. Okay. You could create a table, and if you're confused already, open up a spreadsheet instead, because you already have columns and rows, okay? And you're going to have 4 columns, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4.
Okay.
And your rows are just going to be your categories.
Yep.
Yeah.
Referrals, events, digital ads, organic, social, other.
Yeah.
Right? And then in the cells, you're just, or in the sections, you're just going to list off the marketing activities, initiatives, campaigns that you want to do those quarters. And you could be done. At that point, you could be done with what we're saying, and you could do that in 30 minutes just by listing off what is currently true.
Yep.
If you then want to make it better, now you come back into those cells or in each one of those sections, and you maybe add placeholders for areas that are too light. You add a little sentence or number for a goal. Okay. And if doing it by campaign or activity is too daunting, create a goal for the whole category.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Like like if you're doing Facebook ads and Google ads, ideally you create a goal for each. But if that's daunting, just create a goal for the ads category.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can adjust as you go.
And then same thing, if you feel confident putting a budget in, put that in each category, total it up at the bottom, right? As a matter of fact, I should have mentioned this earlier, we have a marketing plan template.
Sure do.
Okay?
Tell me this now.
You knew about it. So I imagine we can give that to our listeners.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if they check the description on this episode.
It'll be in the description.
Yep.
Okay, so check the description. We have a marketing plan template that is actually laid out comparable to what I just said. It's got categories already in there that you could use.
Yep.
It's got the quarters in there. It's got a small space for a budget and projections or goals.
Yep.
Even if you just download it as visual inspiration, and then you go create your own, maybe with your own categories, or make whatever modifications you want, right?
Yeah.
But
First step just got even easier.
Yeah, that's a free resource. So check the description, and we'll give you our marketing plan template.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing out there is just get started, write something down, and then create a cadence to check in on that plan, both on the what's happened so far and compare it to your projections. And then also when you're checking in, you're adding to the future, right? Based on what's coming up or what you've already learned from the past.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you're gonna figure things out in the long run, and you are gonna figure out how to grow, right? You just need to be willing to go on that adventure.
Marketing's an adventure.
It is. Cool.
You got anything else to add? All right, Eddie.
Negative, sir.
You don't have anything to say?
This is one of those rare moments.
That's crazy.
Right on.
This was awesome.